welcome to another Jazz After Dark, the looser side of jazz. Kind of like the After Hours Club, huh? Come hang out with us here, and I try to review things that maybe you've never heard, or maybe more specifically have never heard in a unique way. And in order to do that, I need to sample some of the best, I don't know if they're the best, right? I'm not like that fancy, but whiskeys and bourbons out there. Tonight, I have, this is actually from the private sample. So I've been kind of playing around with some of these. I got a new box actually, so I have a whole bunch of new ones I've never had before. But this is the Breckenridge cask finish. I like Breckenridge bourbon a lot. And when they came out with this cask finish, I gave it a shot because they, if you're familiar with in the wine world, Pedro Jimenez has a wine that he makes over in Spain, somewhere over there. And they use the barrels from that over in Colorado, and it is incredibly sweet. I like a sweeter bourbon, but with a whole lot of spice, and that does it for me there. The old Breckenridge cask finish, but you can't go wrong with Breckenridge bourbon in general. So if you are looking for something to sample, try or get a gift for somebody. We are not sponsored by them, but it is very good. They will not be disappointed. Anyways, by the way, I would give this like a 91 out of 100, right? So this beats all the Japanese bourbons and actually the Japanese whiskey we had last week. This is like a solid 91 to me. Very, very, very good. I have to be stingy about my pour. And maybe one night I'll take you out. This is just my office in my house, but one night I'll take you out and share with you the bar setup there. Show you. And we're not, that fancy, but I built a bar, so maybe it's interesting to you. Anyways, if you stuck around through all that, are you one who's considering the Backdoor Roth? What in the world is a Backdoor Roth? This is not the basic video on what a Backdoor Roth is, although you're gonna see what a Backdoor Roth is. I did something a little different. Got with Eric on this, and I said, wait, let's just make it a if this, then yes. If no, then this. Can we just make something where people can see it and be like, that's what I have to do? So I'm going to go over this. Don't let it scare you. And then I'm also going to hit on a few things that maybe you didn't know about. I'm quite confident you didn't know a few of these here, so stick around for that. Let's try this way here. There we go. We made a flow chart. So don't let it scare you. I'm going to start by answering no as many times as I can in this flow chart, and then I'll go back and answer yes. And so that way, whatever fits you, fits you. But let's start over here. Do you or you and your spouse have earned income? We're going to say no. Well, yeah, that makes it easy. You can't actually do a Backdoor Roth, nor would you probably want to, but we put that on there because I do get that question from time to time. Now, we're going to answer no as much as we can, but the next question we have to answer yes in order to move forward, right? Because do you have earned income? We only had one direction to go. So let's say you got some money and you're wondering if a Backdoor Roth is for you. The next question we're going to ask is, well, are you married? This could make a difference here. Let's say you said no. Well, this is going to change your income amounts here. So let's say no, all the way down here. And we're going to say, is your modified adjusted gross income, that's the Maggie, 144 or greater? That would be single there. Why do we ask that question? Because then if your modified adjusted gross income is lower than that, then you pretty much can just contribute to a Roth anyways. You may be kind of phased out of it, but you can contribute to it. So we wouldn't even need to continue. So let's say, is it over 144? Well, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't. So let's move on up the line here. Skip this question because we don't need to ask that one. And we're going to continue saying no. Do you have an existing pre-tax traditional, SEP, or simple IRA that you are reporting? And I put the form number there in case those of you geeky IRS tax fund people out there like to mess with that. You'll know where to look. You say, well, no. I'm going to answer no. Well, you can make tax-free Backdoor Roth contributions since you don't have an existing IRA, traditional IRA, or the SEP or the simple. They're all treated the same. They're all SEP or simples there. So we say, okay, we don't need to answer yes or no. We're being told what we can do here. So let's move on. Here's the process for doing the backdoor, of course. We're going to start by opening a traditional IRA. If you're a client here at Jazz, I can do that for you. Then you're going to make a non-deductible IRA contribution, 6 for 2022, because this is for 2022, 7 if you're over age 50. Then after that, we can convert it to the Roth. Let me stop there for a second. Number one, you do not have to make a lump sum contribution. Yeah, you do because it's December when we're making this little class here, so you kind of do for 2022. But if you go into next year and you say, well, I know I'm going to do that anyways, but darn it, I just don't have $6,000. Actually, next year will be $6,500 and $7,500 are the max amounts. If you don't have that much all in one shot, you can contribute throughout the year. There's nothing in the rules that says you have to do this all in one shot. I actually sort of prefer when people go that route and we do the backdoor at the end of the year. It doesn't really matter to me, but I just find that that puts a little less stress on people. Go do something else with your money while you're saving up, right? So when you do that, there's really nothing that you're going to tell me. And I'm pretending I'm your advisor, right? Yay, Jazz Wealth, go check us out. So you can just make the contribution. Now, if you're not a client of Jazz, you just make a contribution. You don't have to elect anything. You don't have to check a special box or anything. Just put the money in your IRA, and then you're good to go. What you're going to do is actually elect for that to be a non-deductible contribution on your tax return. You're still allowed to do the backdoor Roth and all of that before you file your taxes, but that one part right there is very important because you're telling the IRS, I made contributions into an IRA or a SEP or simple or whatever, and I don't want the deduction. I know I'm supposed to be reimbursed for the tax that I would have paid on that money. I don't want it. And now that makes that money post-tax. So that's why I'm stopping on that one for just a second there. We'll come back to that. Okay, so there you go. That's the process. Let's answer yes as much as we can. Do you have earned income? Yes. Are you married? Yes. A different group of person here, right? A group of people. Is your modified adjusted gross income over 214? And again, that's because if it's under that, then you can kind of skip all these steps and just make contributions to the Roth. I will not say that that's the best thing for you to do, but you are legally allowed to do that. If you have really high income like that, I would have more questions, but that's not the topic of our class tonight. So let's say, we had a great year. Me and the spouse make a lot of money, over 214. Modified adjusted gross income is your AGI, but adding back student loans and different interests and things like that. So think of it mostly as your AGI, and if you're really weird and you have some extenuating circumstances there, then you want to look up the M in your Maggie. Otherwise, just ask me. I'll help you. So let's say you made too much. Yes. All right. Moving on up here. Do you have an existing pre-tax traditional SEP or simple IRA? This is important if you answer yes here, right? Let's just read it off to you, and then I'm going to talk about it. You may be subject to aggregation and pro rata rules. I took this directly from the IRS. If you make a backdoor Roth contribution, which will incur income tax when you do the conversion. Wait a minute, this is supposed to be post-tax. I thought I was going to just put money in and not get the tax deduction. Here's how this works. If you already have a traditional IRA and it has, I'm going to make this easy and just say it has $6,000 in it. And you're under the age of 50 and you say, I'm going to do this backdoor thing. It's going to be great. I learned something from Dustin. It's going to be awesome. So you put 6,000 in there watching some dude on YouTube not knowing about this pro rata rule. Stay with me. You have 6 in there that you've already been reimbursed for the tax that you paid. You took the deduction on that money. Now you're putting in 6 that you are not wanting the deduction. And you think you're going to take the same 6 and move it to the Roth. The IRS doesn't allow that. They say you had 6 in there, you put 6 in, that's fine that you don't want the deduction on that, but you take 6 out, you have to take 50% from this category that you've already had the deduction on, and 50% from this category, which means you got $3,000 coming out that you don't pay any tax on, no issue there, but you have $3,000 coming out that is not post-tax dollars. So you got to start getting tricky here. Remember I said 2023 is the year where we get a little bit tricky with our money. We go to the next level of detail here. Here's the trick. Okay, you're going to first try to empty your IRA. Any pre-tax accounts you have, you empty them suckers. Now imagine that. An advisor telling you to get rid of money with which they make money on. I'll be perfectly honest with you. If you have an IRA here with me and it has hundreds of thousands of dollars in it, Well, naturally, we make money off of that. As it grows, we grow, everybody's happier. I can buy these $30 a month whiskey tasting things and come make more videos, right? You have to know how an advisor makes money. There's nothing wrong with making money, but you have to be transparent about it. That's what I believe anyways. So think about this. You come to me and say, I want to do a backdoor Roth IRA. I see your account has a couple $100,000 in it. I know that the best answer is for you to get rid of that account, but that means we're not going to make any money on it, right? Doesn't matter. That has to be the answer. Here's your trick. You ready? You take your IRA money and go to your 401k plan and say, guys, this is going to be really weird. I know people don't ask this all the time, but is there any chance I can take my IRA money and put it in my 401k? Will you guys accept a roll in, right? Not a roll over, but a roll in. And your 401k plan is going to go, all right, let's see here. Yep, we never get asked that question. Okay, yes, we do. We accept money from your IRA. You are eligible to get rid of it and put it in this 401k. There's no tax consequence, penalty, there's no fee, no nothing. What happens? You just trick the IRS legally, right? Don't forget, take this little snippet of information and don't forget this because it's going to happen to you one day, especially if you're watching this video. Now your IRA has rolled in to your 401k, which means the balance of your IRA is zero. Okay, so now if we go back to that and say, do you have an IRA? Technically, no, it's empty. The IRS isn't looking at your 401k. So now if you put $6,000 into it and you say, well, I don't want the deduction. It's a non-deductible contribution. And then I'm going to roll it over, I'm going to backdoor convert it into my Roth. The IRS is going to ask one simple question. What was the balance of your IRA before you converted to the Roth? Your answer, legally, zero. It previously had 100, 200,000, whatever you had in it, but we made it disappear. And so the legal answer is for at least one day, it said zero. That means that the full 6,000 can now move over and you're not going to pay tax on any of that money that you would have already paid. Think about what would happen if you had 100,000 in your account and then you put 6,000 in and expected to convert that 6,000. No. 94% of your money that you moved over to the Roth would be taxable. You get where I'm going with that? Does it make sense? Only 6% of your money would have been backdoor Roth, officially non-taxable. So you would have done this. And if you did that, you would be like, wait a minute, why am I paying tax on this backdoor Roth conversion? That part is huge. So please take a moment and just, screenshot this section right here, right? This middle section. This is the big one because you do not want to be subject to what we now know as the pro rata rule for backdoor Roth IRAs. So you got a lesson, you got a trick, and now you can move forward, right? Do you have an employer retire? This is what this is saying, right? This is where we're going. Do you have a 401k at work that it'll accept a roll in? You say, yes, I do. Oh, wait a minute. Then you can make the backdoor Roth contribution, but first roll in all your IRA money to the employer retirement account to remove them legally from the aggregation rules and avoid all the income tax. Then move on to the next step. All right, we're going to open a traditional IRA, put our money in there, later convert it to the Roth. Is that not like the second level of stuff, right? That's what 2023 is all about. I'm like, you know, New Year's resolutions, you have things like that. But if you just do that one little thing, look what just happened. You just avoided an unnecessary tax. Legally, this is not your TikTok like, did you know you can hire your 6-day-old son to work at your company? No, you can't. Stop it. None of that stuff. That is a legal way to do it. We've done dozens of those each year because as soon as I start poking and prodding, remember, we only grow as an advisor if your money grows, right? One day you'll retire, you'll roll over your 401k, I'll get it back and I will grow with you. But if I help you now, or if I can stop you from getting some shocking tax bill, what does that do next April when money is certainly much tighter than it is now? You're going to be awfully thankful, right? My job is not to just, grow your money for retirement. That's the fun part. But my job is to add value to your dollars in any possible way. We have nothing to sell here. We don't make commissions, products, we don't do anything else. So when I come across things like that for you or whoever's working on it, cheers, right? I mean, that's how you add value. And I don't know, like I'm getting more fired up about this. So what I want to do actually real quick is just pop this up and you take a look at that, screenshot it, do the flow real quick for yourself. Where do you land? I'm pretty sure we covered everybody there. American citizens anyways, right? It's a whole different process if you're not here in America. But basically, I would say, 99.9% of you are covered. Use it. Take it with you. This is free. We're not asking you to sign up for an email list or anything like that, right? The big sneaky thing right on in there. Now you know. So, did you do a backdoor Roth conversion and your advisor didn't tell you what to do? Did you pay the tax on that money? Did you find out too late? That's what we're doing. This is obviously good faith marketing with a sneaky little slightly intoxicated twist, right? But that's our goal. Just good faith marketing, teach you something. And if you remember our names, great. If you don't, well, I'm just going to keep bugging you, right? All right, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for hanging out with us, and I hope you learned something. At the very least, would you hit the subscribe button for us? Makes us look bigger, makes us look more interesting to people when our numbers are bigger, although we don't really get much else for it. Here we're supposed to, but I don't know. Anyways, we'll see you again tomorrow, and enjoy the rest of your drink. Thanks for hanging out with us.